What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Totally Inspired with me, your girl Siwo Duve. It's been a while, I know, since our last video. There's been a lot going on, I'm sure you can imagine. But I thought, since it's been so quiet, it's been so long, I should just come back and try and find a topic that will be interesting for us to talk about. So recently, I had somebody that approached me and said to me that they struggle doing presentations. And they get nervous and so forth. And I just couldn't understand because I thought they were such a confident person in that regard. And I just didn't imagine that this person could have a problem like putting together a presentation, especially given their line of work and the organization that they work for. I would have thought that that wouldn't be a problem, but that gave me an idea. Why not talk about putting together a killer presentation? I will just share a few points with you, and this is just stuff at the top of my head, not necessarily researched, but I'm speaking from my own experience because I tend to do a lot of presentations. So I just thought, let me be authentic. Let me just use things that have worked for me. I may mention points that work for me, but might not necessarily apply to other people when they prepare for presentations. And this is not the entire spectrum of what you need for you to present a killer presentation. There will be more points over and above what I'm going to share. But what I often do when I'm asked to come and present on any topic is to firstly understand the audience. Who are the people that I'm going to be presenting to? Age group, what do they know about the topic that I've been asked to talk about? What's the context? So it's important that one knows the audience that they're going to be speaking to and how well versed they are in terms of the topic, so that you are appealing to them. Even the number of people that you'll be speaking to, that's very important for you to know that how many people am I speaking to? What phase of the journey of whatever topic you're talking about are they on, so that it's applicable to them and it's relevant to them. Another thing that is important is obviously to research. Do some research on the topic. I do that a lot. Even if it's topics that I'm familiar with, I just make sure that I go back and do research, because the world we live in evolves every day. There's new things that happen on a daily. And if you're going to rely on the knowledge that you have on the topic that you're speaking on, if the knowledge that you have was from yesterday, guess what? You might find that there's been new developments in that topic. So try by all means to have the freshest information relating to the topic before you actually present or rely on the information that you already have. Another important thing, point number 3 for me, what works is practicing. Practice, so that you can actually hear yourself or see yourself presenting and see whether the topic flows when you present it. When you practice, you actually get a feel of how the presentation will unfold. And also, of course, you just need to understand whether the points that you have come up with will fit into the time that you've been given, and also allow for question time. Sometimes when you put something down in writing and you put your points together, it might feel like these are the points, and in your mind they might fit into the time that you've been allocated, only to try and fit it into that time and realize that actually you've got too much information or too little information for the time that you've been allocated. So that is the importance of practice. It gives you a perspective as to whether your storyline flows and whether the points that you have are sufficient for the time that's been allocated to you. So we said, number 1, know your audience. That's important that you know your audience. Number 2, you do your research on the topic. And number 3, you practice. Number 4 is also making sure that your tone of voice should not be flat. Your eye contact should be on point. So sometimes when you're presenting and you have a tone of voice that is monotonous, it could easily make people get bored. It can easily make people lose focus on what you're talking about and start thinking about other things. So if there are points that you need to emphasize, you need to raise your voice. If you need to use your hands like I'm doing now, use them. If you need to use eye contact with specific individuals in the crowd, please do that. Those are very important elements of any killer presentation that you want to put together, because you create a bond with your audience, you engage with them, just more than just the content that you've prepared. You start having engagement through the gestures that you use, the eye contact that you use, and your voice, the tonality going up and down, so that you keep them, gripped and keep them interested in what you're talking about. So that would be my point number 4. And point number 5, which will be the last point that I'd like to share, is that always make sure that at the end of your presentation, you have a call to action. Have a call to action. Make sure that you challenge your audience to act on something. And remember, we started with an introduction, and then you build up on the introduction. Put examples in your introduction. It's good to also tell personal stories. I love using personal stories when I'm doing a presentation. That way, you keep people engaged, and it's so authentic. People are able to follow your storyline and be glued to what you're talking about, and you come across as being more believable. So once you've walked through that pace, that journey of the presentation where you're using examples of your own personal experience in that particular topic, then you challenge your audience to have a call to action. Ask them to act on something that would have come out from that presentation that you have made. So those would be my 5 points that I would share with you on some of the important things that you need to consider when you want to present a killer presentation that keeps people glued, people interested, and people seeing the value of what you've shared with them. I hope you find this helpful. Please remember to comment down below. Tell me what you think, your experience with presentations. Maybe add more points to what I've shared here. And I look forward to doing a little bit more videos than I've been doing. Until next time, please remember to keep inspiring. Do subscribe, do comment, do like, do share. Someone would like to use this information. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.